guys, it's Becky. Welcome back to my channel. If you're already subscribed to me, if you're new, I'm so glad you stopped by to visit with me today. Today we are talking about hobbies, in particular hobbies and finding hobbies as an adult. So my hobby has always been, in my recent years and for most of my life now, taking care of my family and my house. And that is still a hobby. I guess I would call it a hobby. It's definitely a priority of mine, but it shouldn't be really the only thing that I do, and the only thing I spend my time doing is taking care of my family, my house, or doing something to serve one of those two categories. Definitely high priority, definitely should be high priority, but I've been working over the last few years on really taking time to also grow and nurture and improve myself. You guys have been with me on that journey if you've been following me for a while. And I think hobbies is one of those things, because I didn't have any hobbies. I really haven't had any hobbies almost, if I think about it, my whole life. There's never really been anything that I've just done long term that I've really enjoyed beyond, like, you know, I like to watch movies and stuff like that, but I wasn't into sports. I wasn't into any of the arts. I don't play an instrument. I really don't know what I spent my life doing now that I think about it. But anyway, I have been trying to find hobbies to incorporate into my life, and that has been something I've been doing, making a dedicated focus on these last few years. I've found quite a few, and I'm looking to add more. So today I'm going to be sharing with you guys how I've done this and how you might be able to find and incorporate new hobbies of all different types into your life as well. Maybe you already have hobbies and you don't really need to just like start from ground zero, but that's where I started from. This is coming from somebody who very rarely did anything new, very rarely tried anything out of my comfort zone, and most of the time I just watched as my husband and or the girls did whatever it was they were doing. I talk a lot about roller skating because that's something that has been a big part of their lives for, goodness, a long time. We've been taking the girls roller skating consistently since they were about 3 or 4. So they're excellent skaters. My husbands can skate. We've done, you know, the ice skating thing, and the girls, you know, one of them did dance, well, both of them did dance at one point, gymnastics, indoor rock climbing, ice skating here and there. Basically anything that we did or they did, I just sat and watched. And I don't really want to do that anymore in a lot of ways. There are certain things I'm still not interested in participating in and don't plan to, but there were very many things that I could have and should have participated in. I had really no reason not to, except for fear of hurting myself or fear of looking stupid or fear of failing, kind of one of any of those things. I don't want to be a spectator of my life anymore, and I want my girls to have more memories of me doing things with them. And I know it's, you know, later in the game. My girls are older. Our oldest is 21 and our youngest is 15, so I know that I've spent most of their life with them, but just watching, so they might not have as many years of like mom doing this with me or us. But better late than never, I always say. So anyway, I've done really well incorporating hobbies. I've got quite a few that have really found that I've enjoyed and I'm excited to do more of. And then I'm looking to do and add more. And so basically there's a couple things that I did to really start from scratch of like, what do you do when you don't really know what you're interested in? When you don't really know what you like? Sometimes you don't even really know to think what's out there to do and to like potentially make a hobby. What do you do when you're afraid of a lot of things, when you are really afraid of looking silly and stupid, which I still worry about, but I'm trying to overcome that. Like, what do you do? So the first thing is I want to go a little bit into what a hobby is and what it can be and what it's okay to be. And the first thing is there are low energy and high energy hobbies. There's hobbies that you might do when you're feeling really fit and active and healthy, and you can go out and do things physically, or that take a lot of mental energy. And then you have the low, kind of lower end, where you're like, this doesn't ask a lot of me physically or mentally. It's just kind of a low-key thing to do. There's hobbies that take up a lot of time, either in one particular day or like over the course of time. There's hobbies where you can just kind of fit them in here and there when you have a chance. Hobbies that cost a lot of money. There's hobbies that cost nothing or very little. There's definitely a time and a place for hobbies that you do with other people, and there's definitely a time and a place for hobbies that you do on your own. Maybe other people that you know that are in your circle, they're not interested in that. That's not their thing, but it can still be your thing. And then there's, like I said, the low energy low skill hobbies, where you just kind of are doing things that are more relaxing, don't require a lot of effort or mental output. Those are all very valid hobbies, of which you should probably have at least a couple in each category to make a more well-rounded toolkit of hobbies, if you will. Various types of hobbies and ways to do those hobbies, and categories of hobbies that I think are important to think about when you're looking at what you might want to try to make a potential hobby. Keep all of these things into consideration. So the first thing is, And it's what I've really tried to do, is try a little bit of everything. You're not gonna like everything that you try, probably. But as you're trying more and more things and kind of putting yourself out there and letting yourself have these new experiences, there is a very good chance that you're going to find at least one or two things that you actually enjoy doing and you kind of want to look into a little bit further and maybe decide, I would like to really put some time and effort into this going forward. And the more you do it, the more you enjoy it. And so that just in turn becomes a hobby. The only way you're really going to find that out is by doing a little bit of pretty much everything that is an opportunity that comes your way, to decide, do I like it? Do I not like it? And that's kind of what I've been doing the last couple years. I did 2 videos about that. I did one in 2023 and one in 2024 of new things that I tried that year. And some of them weren't hobbies, but some of them were. They were definitely things like classes that we took or experiences that I participated in that I have since turned into a budding hobby. Some of them I'm a little farther in the process than others. But definitely things that I would consider hobbies now that I did just by trying new things. So I consider journaling a very big hobby of mine. So I journal now. Indoor rock climbing, I wouldn't say that I do it on a terribly regular basis, but I did try that and I do enjoy it. And we, you know, now whenever we go as a family, I go and I participate instead of just sitting there and watching the girls do it. Roller skating is another one that I've been trying to work on. Started summer of last year. Took a little break when I got hurt, but I haven't ruled it out yet completely about picking it back up once I get over this kind of injury that I've got. But that's been really fun. And needle felting is something that I have picked up as a hobby that I'm looking into getting into more in the future. Watercolor is another one. Coloring, it's as silly and simple as it sounds. Like I think it was Mother's Day or my birthday last year, I asked for like a nice colored pencil set, and I usually will buy the little coloring pages from Etsy for whatever season it is, and I get a lot of joy and fun out of that. Just trying, basically those hobbies alone have come from trying things that before I never really tried and was kind of like, I don't want to do that, I'll just sit and watch, I'll go with you, but I'm not gonna do it. Oh, it looks kind of boring, I may not like that, I'm not really interested in that. Turns out there were things that I was interested in and actually did enjoy that I thought that I wouldn't have or that I wouldn't be. So that was basically through that whole process of, if your family and friends are going out and doing something, or your kids are doing something, find a way to join in and see what you think about it. If you don't like it, you don't have to do it again, but at least you tried it. And keep a list. Keeping that list for me, which now has since turned into those 2 videos that I talked about, and I'll try to remember to link them for you. Keeping that list of new things I tried is a fun way for me to not only do the thing, but then look back at the end of the year and say, you know, I tried so many things new to me. Do I like them all? No. But some of them I really enjoyed, and I can take those things that I enjoyed going forward and use them and curate them into actual hobbies that I can use and spend my time on. So I think it's especially important as we age and as our kids are getting older to realize that they're not going to be home forever, and we're going to need things to do to occupy our time. And I know we're still going to have the normal chores of like cleaning, and there's still doctor's appointments and different things, but I think, you know, so much of my focus has been my kids and pouring into their lives, which I think is definitely the one of the most worthwhile things I could do and could have done. They're not going to need me as much when they're out of my house as they do now. Even my oldest, like, I'm still very active and involved in her life. We still do things together. Me and my youngest do things together. We do things together as a family. And so that obviously, I'm going to have a little bit more time in that regard once they've got their own lives and they're moved out. And what am I going to do if I have no hobbies? Like, nothing. I mean, it's going to work all the time and like clean and organize all the time and do nothing else. So it's really important to have hobbies at every stage of life. And I think especially as you get older, finding those things that you like that you can do physically, and easy, low energy, low physicality hobbies, because obviously we're getting older. So, you know, stuff might not work like it does right now, mobility wise or flexibility wise. Finding those hobbies, curating those hobbies, and even if it's just something on the back burner where you're like, you know, that might be something I want to look into when I have more time. And then working on those things current life where you do have a little bit of time to incorporate those things. So I encourage you guys to keep a list as well, even if it's just on your phone. Just anytime you do anything new, it doesn't even have to be a hobby thing, but anytime you do anything new or try anything new, Write it down somewhere. At the end of the year, look back and say, you know, this was really a really neat year where I tried this, or I really enjoyed that, or I got this hobby. And that list will really help you with that. Okay, so you might say, well, trying new things is great, but I don't really know where to go. You know, we don't do a lot, or my kids, their activities are, you know, not something I'd want to participate in, or I'm able to participate in. Maybe it's a group sport and you can't just like join in, like your kid's playing football and you just decide to run on the field and like take over. So you probably wonder like, well, how do I do that? Where can I find these different things that I can try to see if I like them? So I have a list. It's the list that I have used myself personally. Some of these things have been more of a viable resource than others. But for us, other than the activities that my girls were already doing and interested in, that was kind of like my first go-to, but also the library. Our library, well, it's not even the library in my city, but the libraries in your city or neighboring cities, if it's like the ones near us, we don't have to live in that city to be able to participate in their programs. So we have a couple surrounding cities that we can go to, the different libraries, and every single month I look at their calendar of events for each of those libraries and I say, okay, you know, what classes are they doing? And there is a library in particular that has they just have amazing classes and they are almost always free. I can't think of any that we paid for. I know they might have some where you do pay like a fee, but we've never paid a single dime for any of the classes that me or the girls have participated in. And over the years, you know, the girls have done a lot. My oldest daughter did guitar at the library. My youngest daughter did ukulele. She was the first one to do a felting class, which I have since now taken with her. So the libraries in your area usually have a lot of free classes. A lot of the libraries have, I'm not sure what they call it, but a lot of them will have these big rooms that have a lot of different machines that you can use to do. Sometimes they have like the laser cutting vinyl machines. They have 3D printers, a lot of libraries, all different types of equipment that usually you have to take a class, a free class that just shows you like what the equipment is, the safety guidelines, blah, blah, blah. And then you can use that room to make, you know, whatever you want to make. So there's all different types of classes and resources available to you in your local library. So if your library closest to you kind of is not very good, look at the ones surrounding you. Either you have more in your city or you have one in the neighboring city. That's been a huge thing for us. So I know just in particular for March, I believe we're taking a crochet class, and there's like a beading class where you can learn to make beaded jewelry. And like, this is not like little dumb kid stuff like, oh, look what I made. It's like 4 beads on a pipe cleaner. This is actually like beaded jewelry that you can make. There's been candle making. I'm trying to think of some of the other things the girls have done. I don't know. There's just been a ton of things that we have gotten to try. It's really a nice way to try a lot of things very rapidly, usually for little to no cost. So that's a great option. Community centers would be another one. Museums a lot of times will have programs, classes for kids and or adults. Your local parks and recreation, a lot of dance studios and a lot of gyms offer like a free intro class of like Pilates or a group fitness class or a dance class. So check into that. A lot of craft stores will offer free classes, or usually you pay like a nominal fee for the supplies, and they'll teach you how to like, you know, do toll painting or I don't know, different types of crafts. And obviously their goal is to get you in there and they want you to buy things when you're there. And there usually is, like I said, a cost for those classes, but it's still, you know, you're getting to keep whatever you make and you're learning something new. So spend a little time on Google, spend a little time looking at your local library's calendar of events, your local, whatever city you live in, their calendar of events. You never know what you're gonna find, what you're gonna try that you actually really enjoy and can become a hobby for you. So definitely utilize those options. There's probably more out there. Also YouTube videos, that is another one that I did. When I first was looking for hobbies, I was like, you know, low skill hobbies or easy hobbies to try or start, you know, so there are videos out there as well about different types of hobbies to give you ideas as well. So definitely the internet is your best friend when it comes to finding hobby ideas, and then, you know, locally, where can you go and try these different things? And then consider also your family and your friends' hobbies, things that they're already doing. So if you have a neighbor or a friend that you're close with, and maybe she already goes to, you know, a class once a week or once a month, and she's already doing whatever it is, maybe see if you can go with her. Or in my case, like my girls, they were already roller skating, so it was something that it was really they could all do and I couldn't. So trying to participate in that, or, you know, just whatever the people that you know that you're close to are already doing, find a way to like tag along with them and maybe try it that way and see if it's something that you'd like to add into your list of hobbies. And then also consider open-ended hobbies. You know, we talked earlier about low energy, low skill, you know, higher skill, low cost, high cost hobbies, all those different things, and times and places for all those different types of hobbies. Consider also open-ended hobbies that can grow with you. So like the hobby of learning. So maybe you like to take classes about, you know, maybe you want to go and take a couple classes at a community college about, you know, something you're interested in learning about. Maybe you want to read specific books about specific topics or things. Hobbies like that are going to grow with you and stand the test of time, because your brain is pretty much limitless in what it can do and what you can intake. So reading, writing, and learning are three kind of overarching hobby categories that you can do a lot of different things within those categories that can become hobbies. So like I mentioned earlier, journaling for me has become a hobby that, you know, a lot of people will be like, well, why is that a hobby? That doesn't require a lot of skill. No, it doesn't, but I find it enjoyable, and it has really helped me a lot with learning about myself, trying to improve myself, and it's something that if I continue to journal, I think it will continue to have that same effect. Same thing with reading. I'm currently reading 4 books and the Bible at the same time. So I'm like, you know, trying to take this information in and improve myself or learn about whatever it is I'm trying to learn about. So hobbies that can grow you and grow with you are a nice thing to consider to add to your hobby arsenal. That's just kind of overall my, like, what I've done. What I feel like has helped me the most is just trying to get out of that the routine that I was in of just sitting wherever we went, not really participating. I got to the point where I didn't even consider, like, am I going to do this with them? I was just going to be like, I'll be there, but I'll be sitting there, you know. And that's just kind of silly, especially because some of those situations I didn't really have a valid reason to not do it, other than I was afraid of, you know, looking stupid or not being any good at it or whatever. So anyway, I hope this video encouraged you guys. I'm definitely on this journey of hobby finding as well. You know, I've got a couple things now that I do consider hobbies. I do have some things that like future me when I do have more time theoretically. I've already thought about, like, there's some things that I'm like, you know, I would really at some point love to sit down and learn how to use a DSLR camera, you know, or one of those ones where you have to like manually, I don't have the mental capacity to learn that right now. And it's not top priority, but you know, one of these days I'd like to do that. One of these days I might like to try my hand at learning a little bit of the piano, you know, things like that. But for now I have quite a good selection of hobbies that fit into all those categories I mentioned earlier, and that's really what I wanted. And I hope this video encourages you to do the same and find the same. So you guys let me know, do you already have hobbies that you are into? What are some of the things you have really enjoyed doing? Maybe it will give me ideas for the future. If you don't really have any hobbies, let me know if this video helped you and maybe inspired you to find some hobbies that you can try. Let me know. I just want to hear from you guys. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.